Welcome to the Encore Audio Archives YouTube channel. I'm Taper Dave, and this is my channel. I've uploaded hundreds of talks here that I've recorded at meetings in West LA, and I've also recorded conventions starting in 2013. I've got a bunch of those up. And Walt and Mary Murray, the original owners of Encore Audio Archives, started the company in the 80s, and Walt recorded Joe and Charlie's and a bunch of stuff down in Vista, California. My sobriety date is June 20th of 1994. I hope you find something you like, so please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. If you want to hear something that I don't have or that you don't see, I'll see that I get it. Anyways, take care and have a great day if you want to.
Let's welcome today's speaker, Craig.
Good morning, my name is Craig. I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Craig.
I'm also excited. Inside a little more. But still excited, very excited to be here. Happy birthday. Congratulations to the people who are here and who are new. If you're wondering if you're an alcoholic, please allow me to disavow you of any notion that you're not. You are. There. Not better? You're an alcoholic. Okay, good. If you got a problem with anything I say today, please tell your sponsor. I've been sober since the 18th of February 1992. I have 5 tattoos, 2 children, 2 ex-wives. I'm 52 years old. I think that's all the stuff I would try and figure out about a speaker when I was coming in. I'm not being paid to be here. I'm not a social worker. I'm an alcoholic. I also took drugs. Oh no. The difference, I think, for me is when I was drinking and someone would say, hey, do you want drugs of any kind? I would say, why, yes, of course. No, I don't want the drugs because it'll affect what 12-step group I go to when I get sober. I didn't have that in mind. The difference is, because I'm an alcoholic, and the reason why I identify as an alcoholic, and I only go to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings because I am only an alcoholic, although I took drugs, is because if someone would come into a bar and say to me, hey, you wanna go to this guy's house, he's got drugs, I'd be like, the fucking bar's open. Why would I leave an open bar in the hope of getting some kind of different drug? The bar is open. So if the bar is open, I'm staying in it. That's the only difference I can see. For me. It's Alcoholics Anonymous, not Alcoholics Unanimous, thank goodness. And I don't agree. I used to, when I first came to meetings, I was obsessed with, this meeting would have terrified me. When I first got sober, with the piano and the shiny, happy people, I'd be like, what the hell? You know, like, hey, just be with God and everything will be okay. I'd be like, no. I got sober first in London, England. I'm not originally from Los Angeles. I got sober in London, England, and then I moved back to my hometown of Scotland when I was, of Glasgow in Scotland when I was 2 months sober, having been in a treatment centre. Where the treatment centre I went to was one of the good ones because they told me that I wasn't cured and that if I wanted to stay sober, I'd have to go to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. The treatment centre was run in it was the Minnesota model. It was the first 5 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. It was mostly alcoholics in recovery who were the counsellors. They were very nice people. The centre itself was very touchy-feely, lots of cuddling and you know, inner child business. And there wasn't a bar, and it was a kind of place where I could go and get away from my life at that time. But when I came out of the treatment centre, I went back to Glasgow in Scotland. Glasgow, if you don't know it, I've said this before, it's kind of like, if you imagine the movie Braveheart set in Detroit in the 1970s. It's a rough town, you know. It's not the Upper West Side, I tell you that. Of even Brooklyn or Montclair. But I went there, and I went to I was 2 months out of the treatment centre, and I went to the Wednesday night meeting on the Albert Drive on the south side of Glasgow. If you're ever in Glasgow, it's a fantastic meeting. Mostly shipyard workers, mostly male as far as I could see. Couldn't be 100% sure. Mostly communists, mostly atheists, which was very useful to me when I first got sober, because the atheists, and God bless them, I'm not one myself. It's too committed a stance, but it's too absolute. You know, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can stay sober a day at a time. That's all I can do. But they were mostly atheists, and they held the door open for me because it was controversial and not cult-like. They were aggressive, iconoclastic men. And I liked that, and I felt comfortable around them. And they noticed that I was new to the meeting, and they said, "Hey, how long are you sober?" I said, 2 months. And they said, "Oh, great, come and speak." And you speak for 45 minutes in the Albert Drive Southside meeting. So I spoke for 45 minutes. The first time I spoke to these shipyard workers in Glasgow, and I told them how they should embrace their inner child and maybe send a letter to the 10-year-old version of themselves asking for forgiveness. And after it, they were so nice. They were lovely to me. Every single one of them keep coming back, son. That was fantastic. And they were beautiful. They were beautiful, and they kept me sober, and they helped me be sober. And I'm still here. The reason I'm here today, this is a happy birthday to the birthday people. Happy 30 days or whatever chip you took. Happy whatever day you're on. The reason I'm an American is due largely in part to one of the gentlemen who took a cake today. And when I was 7 years old, I was allowed to watch television in the middle of the night because 3 Americans were going to the fucking moon. And I thought, they go to the moon? Fuck this, I'm going to America. And the first thing I wanted to be in my life was a goddamn astronaut. I wanted to be an astronaut, and I was a 7-year-old Scottish kid. It's a long way. And I had a lot of ideas about what I wanted to be when I was a kid. I really did want to be an astronaut. That's what I wanted to be, and I'm not. But I'm okay. I do have a pilot's license. I do fly airplanes, which is interesting because I had a morbid and terrifying fear of flying, both drunk and sober. When I was flying, I've never flown a plane drunk, by the way, that I remember. But I used to sit on airplanes, terrified. Every bump, every movement, every ripple in the air. I'd be so scared, and I would slam drinks and try to get the alcohol to take the fear away. And it was that was the first time I really noticed that alcohol had stopped working for me, because it didn't take the fear away. I was just drunk and afraid. I was just as afraid as I was drinking. I think I drank initially because I was afraid. I started drinking when I was 13. I was afraid the whole time. It's a violent place where I grew up. It wasn't wrong to be afraid. It was okay. It was probably a pretty good idea to have a reasonable level of fear. But I couldn't cope with that level of fear. I couldn't take it. And so I drank. And so I would sit on airplanes and drink and drink and drink. And then when I got sober, you know, I was going through the steps. I do the things I do, but I would still sit on airplanes and be terrified of flying until one day I met a pilot friend of mine who said, you're not afraid of flying. You're just a control freak. And I said I was willing to embrace the idea that that might be true. And I took some flying lessons, and I hated it for the first 8-9 hours of flying. Little one-engine pieces of crap over the Simi Valley and moderate turbulence, which there's nothing moderate about moderate turbulence in a Cessna 172. And after a while, I kind of got into it. And the guy who got me into flying, he's not an alcoholic, he's a friend of mine. And I talked to him about the reason I was doing it, and the reason I was afraid. I was so afraid, and I said, I want to find out what's on the other side of the fear. And he said, well, what's on the other side of the fear is you. I was like, that sounded familiar to me. I was about 10 years sober, maybe a little more, actually, when I started flying. And I remember this guy is a big movie star, this guy. So he's, you know, so in my head, when I was doing my first cross-country solo flight, and I got into some bouncy air above the San Gabriel Mountains, you know, I kept hearing this guy in my head, and the other side of the fear is you. And you kind of, that's true for AA. Too. The other side of the fear. I'm a lot less frightened than I used to be. I'm also, you know, I don't live where I used to live. In all areas of my life. I don't live in that state. When I first came here, I was very concerned that it was kind of a cross between the Moonies and Weight Watchers. I gotta say, this meeting, I think, probably is, but I don't care. I don't care. I'm not afraid of. I'm not afraid of you. I'm grateful that you're here. I'm grateful you let me speak, but I'm not afraid of you. Your sobriety doesn't threaten me or frighten me. Mine doesn't threaten me or frighten me. I had a lot of attitude and a lot of things that I used to believe when I came in. You know, I used to be very concerned about how the speaker spoke and what they said. I don't care anymore. I used to be concerned about how the meeting went, who did what. When I first came to Los Angeles when I was 5 years sober, they did things a little differently than the meetings in London and Glasgow, so I started to talk to people about how they were doing it wrong. And it took a while to make friends. But I don't care now. I go to meetings all over the world. I've been to meetings all over, and they do things a little differently all over the place. It doesn't matter. I went to the craziest meeting I ever went to in my life once was in the Bahamas. It was about 8 people in this meeting. A fight broke out halfway through the meeting. These guys yelling at each other and pushing each other around. And I was about 45 minutes into the meeting, and I thought, wow, I feel so comfortable here. I used to really matter to me. And so it was a way of torturing myself one more time. You know, how was the meeting? How was the thing? How did it do? It doesn't matter. Let's go to the meeting. You know, having an attitude about the meeting is like a kidney patient having an attitude about dialysis. You know, how was dialysis? Was it fun? Any hot girls there? What does it matter? Let's go. I'm very bad. I've been sober for a long time, and for me, I think it's a long time. And I didn't think I could do it, and I've done it. Well, the only one way I could stay sober is because of the help of other alcoholics who give me a perspective on my life. I'm very bad at recognizing symptoms of anything in my body. I don't recognize hunger as a sensation. I'm hungry, I need to eat. Hunger for me begins with fuck you. Who do you think you are? You know, that's what this hunger is like for me. I have to have help in understanding what's going through myself from people who are in a similar position. I have a sponsor, the same sponsor I've had since I came out of the treatment center. He's a Scottish gentleman. He now lives in Arizona and complains about things. And he's awesome. He's an awesome human being. I love him. He's my best friend. And he's listened to more garbage from me over the years. And every now and again, I hear him talking, and I go, geez, that's... somebody's off the reservation a little bit. And it's nice. It's nice. It's such a gift. It's such a fellowship. It's what I was looking for when I was getting drunk. I just wanted to feel okay. I wanted to feel not afraid. I wanted to feel cool. I was very concerned about feeling cool, especially when I came in to AA. I wanted to be cool with the other cool people who were coming into AA. Now look, I got bad news if you're new. You're not cool. That's okay. Neither is anyone else in here. Except me. Because I don't care what you think. And that's what's cool. It's freedom. Freedom, you know. I'm a very satisfied customer of Alcoholics Anonymous. You know, I never once woke up in the morning and went, oh, shit, I wish I hadn't stayed sober last night. I've really blown it. Nah. I've resigned from the debating committee about what I am and what I'm not. I just go to the meetings. I know the answer is always go to the meeting. The answer is always go to Alcoholics Anonymous. The answer is always do service. The answer is what Chuck C. said years and years ago. The answer is not in the problem. The answer is in the answer. And you can make up a lot of stuff about, well, this is the problem, and this is the problem, and this is why this is the problem, and this is, well, good, that's all fine and interesting. I go to therapy, I enjoy it a lot, but I don't mistake it for Alcoholics Anonymous. If I tried to stay sober in therapy, I'd be a well-informed dead guy. I enjoy it, it's useful, it enhances my sobriety, but it is not sobriety, not for me. Alcoholics Anonymous and service within Alcoholics Anonymous. This is the only thing that worked for me. It's the only thing that works for me. Very traditional, old-fashioned, you know, big book thing. I can't quote pages from the big book, but I'll sometimes say stuff and say it's in the big book and then send people go and check. When I was about... it was about a year ago, maybe a little more. My youngest boy, he's 3 years old. He's coming up on 4 years old. He developed a cough. It's just terrifying. It wouldn't go away. Any of you who are parents, you know that feeling. You get something wrong with your kid, you don't know what it is, and it's just the fear of any flying or what that girl thinks. It's just a different level of fear. It's something wrong with your kid. And he developed this cough, and it wouldn't go away. And we tried everything. We took him to doctors and allergists, and the cough wouldn't go away, and we were going crazy. You know, and this is like 6 months. The kid is coughing, and we're not getting any sleep. He's up at night. He's coughing. And you know, you think the worst. And I'm like, eventually, one of the allergists we go to says, "Do you have any mold in your house?" I'm like, no, I live in a nice house. Come on, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, no, it might be there. You should have guys come in and check. So we had some guys come in and check, the hazmat suits and the kind of, Ebola guys come into the house, and they check, and yeah, we got mold in the house. We got this mold in the house, and then they come in, and we didn't even know it was there. And they do this thing, and they get in there with meters, and they find this mold, and they take it out, and the cough goes away, and the kid's fine, and he's fine. And so there was a mold, there was something festering away there. We couldn't even see, and we had to call experts in to just see what the problem was. We couldn't see it. That, to me, is the inventory process in Alcoholics Anonymous. That's the inventory process. You can't do it. I feel it can't be done on your own. I can think a lot of things, and I can say there's no mold in my head. But unless I call in the guys, my sponsor, the men that I trust in Alcoholics Anonymous, my friends for many years, and say, here is what's in my head, they go, ooh, shit, that's mold. That's what you got to get out of there. Uncover, discover, discard. I got nothing new for you. Everything I do here, everything I have done to stay sober, you know, people have been doing for a long time. Bill Wilson, you know, even Bill Wilson, you know, he's saying the humility of this human being to say, you know, we don't have a monopoly on this, and we don't. But it's the only thing that works for me. You know, I've met people that have got sober in other ways. I don't want what they have. I really genuinely don't. It sounds too restrictive. I'm not a good joiner. You know, I'm not good at joining in with a lot of people. This is the only thing that I've ever really been capable of being part of. I can't live by your rules, man. And in AA, you don't have it. You don't have it. There's no rules. There's some suggestions, which I think are fairly strong suggestions, like when they say the 12 steps are but suggestions. You know, if you're standing on the edge of a cliff, I suggest you don't jump off. There's an absolute thing that will happen if you don't follow this suggestion. You'll die. You know, it's important, I think, to stress to the newcomers and to myself in doing so. There's nothing altruistic here. Whatever I say to the newcomer, I'm really saying it because I need to hear it. I would stress to you the fatal nature of your condition. There's a lot of fun. There's a lot of laughs doing this thing. AA is beautiful. It's been a lot of things to me. A bank, a dating service, a social life. But the bottom line is, you know, if you don't get sober and you're an alcoholic, you're going to die in a way which you didn't plan as well. Something awful and not what you had in mind. My death I had in mind was the swan dive off London Bridge. That's the big fancy one that opens up. I don't know how to dive. I was going to go and kill myself on Christmas morning 1991, and I didn't, because I got drunk instead. And so I forgot to kill myself. And so that's a yeah, you know. But I've not done this perfectly. No one asked me to sponsor them until I was 5 years sober, which I was very angry about, until I realized I was so angry no one would ask me to sponsor them. It's hard to sponsor people. Some people I've sponsored got drunk. Some haven't. Some just kind of wander off into their lives. I haven't gotten drunk once from any sponsorship I've been involved in. I have lost my temper, though, a couple of times. I don't do that so much anymore. At 10 years sober, remember that English guy I sponsored? Jesus. Yeah, this guy came at me, and he's like, and he said, I'd like you to sponsor me. Now, you know, I'm like, okay, you're English, I'm Scottish, this can work in AA. You're from the Upper West Side, I'm from Brooklyn, we'll be cool. And I started sponsoring this guy, but he wouldn't say he was an alcoholic. He kept saying he was something else. It was all a bunch of other things, you know, all very pathological, difficult conditions, but no alcoholism. Now I'm thinking, what the fuck am I doing here? You know. And so I said, I can't help you. I can't help you. I'm not qualified. I'm not a counsellor. I'm not a social worker. I don't get paid for this. I'm not on commission. I can only help you if you're an alcoholic. And we got into some big argument, which I can't imagine why I got into it. But I had this guy, this is, I think on my 10th birthday, or certainly in that neighbourhood, I had him buy his lapels against a chain link fence outside the log cabin with other people coming in and out, me going, pointing in this guy's face and yelling at him. And I'm thinking, even as I'm doing it, I'm thinking, this is not a good example of sponsorship for the newcomer. So I put him down and I go away and I feel terrible and I call my sponsor and he's like, call him up for God's sake. You can't do that. Call him up. Apologize. So I went, you're right. And I call him up and I get this guy's answer phone. So I apologize. I say, I'm so sorry. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. I'm sorry. That's out of line. I can't do that. And then I hang up, and I noticed there's a message on my phone. And I thought, oh, he's calling me. So I listened to the message that he left on my phone, and he's like, how dare you, and if I get my hands on you, I'll beat you up. And I'm thinking, I want to take back my apology and kill him. So now I only sponsor people who are alcoholics. And I think that's because I'm not qualified to help people who are not. I'm not a doctor. Much like people who are not doctors in AA. No matter what you hear, 20, 30, 40 years of sobriety does not mean you get a medical degree. It doesn't. So if you're on medication and someone tells you how to take it or how not to take it, and, you've been taking that under supervision from a doctor, and this person telling you is sober but not a doctor, and you maybe want to tell them that practicing medicine in the state of California without a license is illegal. You're not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I don't know how. I can't tell you how to live. I don't know what medications you need. I don't know what kind of situation you're in. I don't know if you're depressed or not. What I do know is this. When I first got sober, it was very important to me to realize what I looked like when the bandages come off. So there was a lot of talk about, when I came in, somebody saying, take this medication, take that medication. And I didn't know if I needed it or didn't need it, so I wouldn't take any of it. And I don't take any medication for anything now, but that's a by the way. That's not talking about what you do. This is what I don't take any medication for my for my alcoholism, because it doesn't work. In my experience, I went to a doctor when I was 5 years sober. I was experiencing panic attacks. I went to a doctor who was sober, sober in AA. And I went to him and I said, I'm panicking the whole time and this and that. And I gave him all the symptoms of how awful I felt and terrible. And he said, I think you might be actually depressed in some way. You might have some kind of weird... he said, try this. And I think the big drug at the time was Prozac or, one of them, cure-alls. And, you lose weight, you feel great. And I said, is there any other way? I asked him a question. Is there any other way? Can I not take this? He said, well, you could try 2 hours of rigorous physical exercise every day. Just 2 hours of going at it. Just do that. And I was like, all right, I'll try it. And I did. And I still do a lot of physical exercise. But right then, when I was about 5, I started doing 2 hours. And I started to feel a little bit better. And I was ripped as well. I was in great shape. And tired at the end of the day. Which is an appropriate feeling if you've done a lot of physical activity. There's more than one way usually, except in my experience in AA. You don't get drunk and you go to meetings, and for me, that's the beginning. Ray O'Keefe used to say, AA meetings are to sobriety as breathing is to life. That's first. So, so that's what I do. That's what I do. I go to meetings. I've been, having the same meeting with the same guys for too long. The sharing's gone from girls to prostate exams. It's like, you want to get a finger, you don't want to get a finger, whatever. I'll lighten up, fuck you. Look, you hear a lot of stuff in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is a very frantic town. Very, very busy. Everything's got news, and there's an app and stuff. And you hear a lot about, people talking, those rat bastards that have found a cure for alcoholism, those killers. There's no cure for this. Daily reprieve, contingent on your spiritual condition. When you hear any reports about AA doesn't work, and they give you percentages about people, let me give you, my research has proven that AA is in fact 100% successful. Voila. Any one of you doubt, you can doubt if you're an alcoholic. Any one of you motherfuckers doubt I'm an alcoholic. And I've been sober for nearly 23 years. That's because this works. A lot of different ideas, a lot of different ways to do it, a lot of different opinions, a lot of different things, a lot of arguments, a lot of you don't do this and you wear this and you wear this when you're speaking and don't use this word and don't use that word, and who the hell cares? love and service, for free and for fun. That's it. That's really all I've got, except to say congratulations to a personal hero of mine and a great goddamn American, Buzz A. And that's it, I'm done. Thanks a lot. All right, okay. No questions. Oh, I didn't know there'd be questions. I don't want to do it. All right. Yes, sir.
How did you get in your line of business?
How did I get in my line of business? I dropped out of school, it's the only thing that I'm kind of qualified to do. I work in show business. There's no college requirement. You don't have to be smart or, just to be a wise ass, and that seems to work. I just go wherever I feel I can survive. Yes, ma'am. You're very welcome. Okay, if I can paraphrase a little bit, the question is, what was the moment that I knew that I was going to have to come into AA, or was there a one moment? Like, was it drinking on the plane and I knew that? No, I think if I say, I don't want to mislead you, there was more than one moment. In my, there was no, I know it works very well for TV movies and stuff when people go, I think I might be an alcoholic. And then they go to the meeting and, For me, that's not how it worked. I know, I have friends who, it was one moment, they got it and they went in. I got a lot of signals for a long time that alcohol wasn't working. First of all, from other people who would say, you're an alcoholic, the way you drink is alcoholic, and, please don't pee in my bed anymore. And and I would try and offset them. How do you know it wasn't you? But I got a lot of signals, and I think there was one thing just before I got sober. It wasn't so much something that happened to me as something that happened maybe within me. I went for a walk. In a big park near the house I was living in at the time, and I was so bad. Anybody who's ever taken speed, I had taken some speed on my last drunk, and there's a real psychosis comes. Oh my God! And so I was very shaky, and I wasn't a vision for you. And I said a prayer to a God I don't even know if I believe in. Even now I come and go with. It's hard to believe in. It's a work in progress. And I said a prayer. I said, I'll do anything. I'll even do that life of rigorous honesty. Just get me out of this mess. And I've been sober ever since. So I think that might have had something to do with it. Maybe an honest desire to stop drinking. Maybe that was it. Yes, sir.
What is your number one suggestion for a person who is really struggling in the beginning?
What is my number one suggestion for anyone who's struggling in the beginning? Is this person you?
Yes.
Okay. Because it's okay to say I'm asking for a friend. That's fine. Do you have anyone in your life that you love?
Yes.
Okay. Then my suggestion would be, treat yourself like you would treat that person if they were in trouble. It helps to treat yourself, particularly when you're new, I think, to treat yourself like you're somebody you like. Like, if you really, my buddy Joe, he's a great guy, he can't stop drinking, I'm going to take him in meetings. And look, he's getting better. Oh, Joe, God, you're so great. I'm so proud of you, Joe. Just you be Joe for a while. And do all the things that you respond to, that resonate with you. Not every alcoholic that comes over and touches you and smiles in your face and yells how everything's going to be great is the person for you. But some of them are, and you instinctively know. I think what you connect with and what you feel good around, and it'll probably change as well, but you'll just keep going to meetings and put your hand out and do what you did right now. Put your hand up. Identify yourself. Don't say you're asking for a friend. And it's okay. Yes, sir.
Thank you for your talk. As you progress in sobriety, have you ever tried Al-Anon or church or more things to enhance your sobriety, or keeps you straight and
I'll paraphrase the question. In sobriety, as I've gone through sobriety, have I done other things like Al-Anon or church or stuff to enhance my sobriety? Oh gosh. I've gone to about 6. This is only me, right? I've gone to about 6 Al-Anon meetings. I fucking hate it. I particularly hate when they say this is the graduate program. I'm like, really? If there's one thing I don't want to graduate from, is Alcoholics Anonymous. I've met graduates and they're not my people. I'm a dropout. You are my people. However, that's not to say that it doesn't work for some people. Of course it does. It just doesn't work for me. Church, I like churches. You know, they're pretty. And I envy those. I genuinely envy those of people of faith. My definition of faith is that it contains doubt. If faith doesn't contain doubt, then it's not faith, it's certainty. So, these churches, yes, it's all fun. I mean, I go to therapy, that's nice, and churches are nice, and Al-Anon is what it is for some people, but they, I think these are nice things that are available. But for me, my sobriety is enhanced by really love and service within Alcoholics Anonymous. That's what enhances sobriety for me, it seems to be. Yes, ma'am. This is the last question, apparently. Is that right? Yeah.
I just wondered, if your parents are alive, what kind of a relationship do you have with them? Or are they still alive?
The question is, are my parents alive, and what kind of relationship do I have with them? No, my parents are not alive. They're dead. But my relationship with them is improved. My side of the street is clean. Before they died, I was able to make amends to both of them. Be clear on what I said. I was able to make amends to them about my behavior and what I did. I was able to do that while they were alive, and I'm very grateful for that. However, I've noticed that since they've died, that the amends process has continued, because as you uncover and discover and discard, there seems to be, like, what's that phrase? Is it Richie, the longer you are sober, the drunker you were, or something like that? Yeah, it's like, the more I look at my behavior and the more I look for mold in the house, the more I find. My sponsor, who I love dearly, defines sponsorship and the inventory process the following way. I hold the flashlight, son. You dig. What's that? Get it out. Get it out. It's fine. Nobody will notice. Get it out. It's mold. Get it out. And that's what we do. I think that's me done. I thank you, and I really mean this. I want you to understand this. Even if you don't like what I said, or it makes you angry, and I surely understand that, or if it makes you unsettled, or if there's a way that I've done it that you don't like doing it, that's good. I don't need to hear it, but that's good. But I am genuinely grateful from the bottom of my heart, from my soul. I am so grateful that you allow me to be part of this, because I am nothing without this fellowship and without you. I don't have anything. I don't have a life. I don't have kids. I don't have a career. I don't have anything. I don't have anything. And I'm not foolish enough to think that it's anything really to do with me. So thank you very much indeed.
I think we got a great talk going on here. Thanks for watching the channel. Taper Dave here. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Okay, this is how I prepare my drone for launching. I like to do it inside the cab of my truck so I'm not standing outside in the weather. To install the joysticks for control, up and down, right and left, powered on. I have an Android phone that I use to connect it to the drone with. And it's actually controlled through the iPhone, through an app. Oops, wrong way. It's actually controlled through the iPhone, or through this Android phone, through the app. It's actually controlled through the Android phone, through an app, and you connect it through this short connection right here.
Remote control connected.
Remote control's connected. So I pull out the drone. I have to extend the legs. Long legs extended first, then the short legs. Remove the gimbal protector. Set that aside, then power it on one short burst and one long burst. I lay it down. So I have to go to calibrate. So the drone's not connected yet. It shows you here as this drone gets disconnected, even though the remote's powered on. So the drone has to establish it's connected. So I go into the app to calibration mode. First I'll calibrate the remote controller. Start calibration. Out, in, oop, out, in, up, down, and then this little wheel is to control the gimbal. So it's calibrated. Go to gimbal calibration, start calibration, and then it calibrates the gimbal. I don't know if that shows up. The gimbal's moving all over the place. Changes, you can see it on the video. And I'm calibrated to take off. It's acquired 7 satellites at the moment. There are 26 satellites up in the sky, which it has to acquire before you can take off. So it's connected. It's got enough satellites. This is white. I can go to press this little arrow button, swipe right to take off, and it would start the motors if I slid this to the right. But I'll wait till I get outside. Don't want to do it inside.